Hello Patriots, welcome back to Appalachistan Prepper with your host Old Quarter 1057. That's me. We're not going to do a gear review or talk about techniques or anything like that in this video. Just want to basically pass on a story to you. And as we were making our plans and preparing to start this YouTube channel, we're gathering the gear and basically saying, well, we need to do a video on this or a video on that. And as we were doing that, I was taking notes, and I got my logbook out, my sniper data logbook that I keep for my sniper rifle. And I was using that as a field binder because we're back at the rifle range. And in that binder, I came across something that had been there for years. And I'd like to share that with you. This is the patch of the 36th Infantry Division. My grandfather was combat infantryman in World War II in the Italian campaign with the 36th Infantry Division. The 36th Infantry Division is actually a National Guard division. They're still active. If you remember when the border got rushed and when Governor Abbott sent the National Guard to the border, that was the 36th Infantry Division. Still there, still doing the thing. And as luck would have it, he landed at Salerno, September 9th, 1943, fought his way through that, fought his way through the Battle of San Pietro, where he was wounded, and he was medevac back for a little while. He heard his unit was moving up, so he just basically packed his stuff up and left and went back to his unit before he was released, which is kind of a common story for those guys back then. They were worried about their comrades and their companions. And as luck would have it, the 36th Infantry Division, the 143rd Regiment, was part of an attack on the front at Casino. They were tasked with crossing the Rapido River and basically a frontal assault across the river, which most anybody realizes that's a bad tactical move. But in the long run, he survived the war. He ended up being captured on the German side of the river. It was a total failure. 2 days worth of battle. 36 never got enough people across the river to do any good. So he ended up in German prisoner of war camp. It just so happens, I got a little picture of him here. Here's the German guard. And this guy right here in the back row is my grandpa. He's my mother's father. And I spent a lot of time with Grandpa. He was kind of my hero, man. I was the oldest grandson, and me and him were pretty thick till he passed away. He's a wonderful, wonderful man, and I learned a lot from him. And he's one of those guys that, even though he didn't talk much, when he talked, it spoke volumes, and I just absorbed that from him. And I want to tell you what he told me one day, because I think we're living in a time that his words are very relevant. And I can speak personally through the hardships I've faced in my life, the ups and the downs in my life. Many, many times I have leaned on the words my grandfather told me. And I thought, if Grandpa can do what he did, I can certainly come through this. I remember the time he told me that they were about to starve to death in the POW camp, and him and about 3 of his buddies caught a rat and cooked it and ate it. And he said his exact words were, "And we was damn glad to get it too." So I want you to think about that statement in and of itself. How many times have you been in a position in your life that you would be damn glad to have a mouthful of rat meat? Have you ever got to that point? I'd say most people have not been to that point. But the reason for this video is I found this patch, and it made me think about all of that. And the story I want to relate to you is not what I've already said, but this is the main gist of it. I was about 14, and he told me, he was talking about, people wanting big cars and big houses and fancy this. And don't get me wrong, he was a working man. He wasn't against nice things or nothing of that nature. But here's what he said to me. He said, "Son, let me tell you something." He said, people are worrying themselves into an early grave over things that don't even matter. He said, as long as you have somewhere warm and dry to sleep at night and something to eat, you don't have any real problems. And many times since he told me that, I've heard him say those words throughout the rest of my life, and I'm passing that story on to you. Because we're living in troubled times. We're living in stressful times. We're living in a time of transition. And it's important, patriots. It's important that we do not lose sight of what really matters. We have to stay focused. We're being pulled multiple directions. We're being bombarded with basically psychological warfare from foreign countries and even our own country in a lot of cases. We're living in a time that has never been before. When I was a boy, you could count on the military for 20 years or the factories of the Rust Belt. My story is very much like J.D. Vance's story. Family from Appalachia moved north to work in the factories and the steel mills and the foundries. And then when we retired, we returned back to what was always home. So it's a very reminiscent story of J.D. Vance's story, whether you like him or not. There's millions of us that have that same story. And the times that we're living in, we're in a state of transition. And what the future, how it's going to turn out, we really, really don't know. But what we can do is lean on the things we know that are truthful. You can lean on the things you know that are important, and let the rest of it go by you. I've been involved in a lot of training in my life, from the Marine Corps to all kinds of training in heavy, dangerous industry, to technical training, to first responder type training as you get qualified to be first aid, first responder within a company or something of that nature. And none of the training that I've ever attended did the instructor say, all right, now when something happens, first thing you want to do, freak out. I've never been trained. What do they always say? You guys have been to training too, no doubt. They always say, if something happens, stay calm. So the story about my grandpa, he lived his life in that prisoner of war camp for like 18 months. Now, them Germans could have killed him at any time and all of his buddies, simply not to have to take care of them. He lived his life minute by minute, because at any time they could line him up, shoot him, and that would be the end of it. He had no control. And I want you to imagine not living your life one day at a time. Sometimes we've all done that. I went through some hard times, and it's one day at a time. But think about having to live your life minute by minute, that every time the door to the barracks opened, you didn't know if it was a Grim Reaper walking in on you. So Grandpa said, as long as you have somewhere, and this is spoken like a true infantryman, and you got to respect that, patriots. He said, long as you got somewhere warm and dry to sleep at night. And think about that, warm and dry, and something to eat, you don't have any real problems. And that has helped keep me focused, and was a guiding principle to steer me through the hardships of my life, the uncertain times, the times when I didn't know how things were going to turn out. It's something I hold on to even today, and I wanted to share that with you, because that was hard-earned wisdom by a true American patriot. So hang on, folks. As long as we stick together, it's going to be all right. We're America. We're Americans. This country belongs to us. The government works for us. And we can love each other. It's okay. Don't be afraid to speak your beliefs. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you know is right. But also, let's not become what we're fighting against and hate people just because they're a little different than us. We want to be very careful not to turn in to what we're fighting, just for victory's sake. We must show some compassion when we're victorious. We need to show a little humility and a little compassion to the vanquished. Even though sometimes you don't feel like they deserve it. But it's not whether they deserve it or not. It's a requirement upon us to give it if we're going to be better people than they are. So with that, you know, if you think it's corny and cheesy, don't watch it no more. If you got anything out of it, I'm glad. That was the intent. Just don't get caught up in the noise and the chaos and the confusion. Stay grounded, stay focused, lay your phone down, go walk in the woods, clean your rifle, shoot your rifle, spend time with your kids. If you got a good woman in your life, give her a hug and tell her thanks. You appreciate her. I appreciate mine. I really do. I hope she knows that. So, with that, SoulCore 1057 going to sign off. Remember, same as it was in 1943 at Salerno, Italy, San Pietro, Italy, and the Rapido River crossing, the maximum effective range of an excuse is absolutely 0 meters. So don't kid yourself making excuses. Find yourself getting results. With that, keep the faith, Semper Fi. Quit struggling with it. Quit wrestling it around. Give in. Give in to the urge. Push that like and subscribe button. You'll feel good about yourself. I'll feel good about you. The world will be a better place. Trust me. And always, do not let these men's sacrifice go wasted. They did not fight for foolishness. They fought so you could have liberty, so you always demand liberty. It's your right. It's your duty.